everybody, and welcome to the Action Coach Spotlight interview. We've got a great guest today, Paul Koufalis, who is the founder and CEO, president of White Star Software. And welcome.
Hey, nice to be here.
So, Paul, we've known each other for a while. I know a little bit about you, but obviously our audience doesn't. So, could you tell us a little bit about White Star and obviously about ProTop, so that we have an understanding of what your business is?
Yeah, sure. We simplify the job of managing and monitoring the world's best OpenEdge applications. So we have customers all over the world. They run their business on this technology called OpenEdge, and we're really experts in that technology, and we have the best tooling really in the world for supporting and monitoring that kind of technology.
So is this is a software as a service business?
Absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, we've been around for 30 plus years, started at, as consultants like everybody else, we became experts. And then we realized we just couldn't scale. There's just not enough people and expertise to scale. So we started automating with software. And then next thing you know, we've got a product called ProTop, which really takes our 30 years of expertise, distills it into this product. And now we're able to scale our expertise without necessarily having to scale manpower. And really that's the definition of software as a service.
Cool, absolutely. All right, so for the benefit of our guests, maybe some of our newer entrepreneurial guests, let's take a trip back in time and ask the question: what made you want to put on the entrepreneurial hat? I mean, obviously you were a career guy, you were in corporate world. What made you take the leap?
I took the leap early in my career. I mean, I finished engineering at McGill University in 1994. So, that is a long, long time ago.
In 19
I can't hide the gray. What am I supposed to do? And I got my first job working with what was then the largest Progress OpenEdge reseller in Canada. Really worked with a great team over there for 4 years, but I realized after 4 years that wasn't for me. And so literally I changed jobs. I thought the problem was the job, but that wasn't the problem. It was me. I was the problem, right? So I changed jobs. That lasted 1 year, and then all of a sudden I went off on my own. And that was my first foray into the business world as an independent consultant.
Yeah, most entrepreneurs are unemployable.
Yes. Don't put it that way.
Okay, so question. I've always curious. I ask this about all of my guests, either here or on my other podcast. Do you have family that are entrepreneurial? Is it kind of in the family blood, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. My father, I mean, when he came to Canada from Greece, we're first generation Canadian. So yeah, he started working for other people, but like so many other immigrants, they just end up becoming entrepreneurs. I don't know why immigrants have that entrepreneurial blood, but they do. So yeah, my dad had restaurants he had a bookkeeping business for so many years. And actually my sister took over the bookkeeping business, and today she's the bookkeeper for White Star Software, right? So
Wow.
and she's grown that into a great business. So my sister has this great bookkeeping business. I have White Star Software, so
Keep it in the
definitely,
family. It's great.
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's keep going along on the journey. So you leave the corporate world, you create your own business. What were some of the hurdles that you had to overcome to, get your first clients, to start building up clientele, maybe employees? What were some of the hardships, or I don't want to say hardships, but I mean, yeah, hardships. That's the word, right? What were some of the hardships that you had to deal with?
Way back then when it was just a consulting business, the hardest one was getting clients, right?
Mm,
Because especially when you're a team of one, right? So you have to work, but you also have to go to conferences, and that's when I really started speaking more, because that's your avenue to meeting people and
mm-hmm.
network, right? People say network, go to conferences, go to this. it's not a joke. You have to talk to people if you want clients. They're not just going to magically call you or send you an
But you can't
email.
just
Hey,
make a website and they'll just come and just throw money at you. That doesn't work that way.
yeah, so I would say those were the challenges at the beginning, and then you learn, I think, as an independent consultant that it's not scalable. You're still trading hours for dollars. You're still an employee. You happen to be employed by yourself, but as a consultant, you're just trading hours for dollars. It's the first step. You got to take that step. But then from there, we took the next step was to say, how do we scale this? And that's where White Star Software, I think, came into play.
Okay, so you went from solo to software, or did you have a team of consultants working with you to
No,
scale? Okay.
yeah, what happened was I was an independent. It was Nectarios Daloglu, who was an independent, and there was a couple of other independents in the US, Tom Bascom and Adam Backman, who had White Star Software. And we said, hey, let's join forces because together we'll be bigger than just the four of us individually. So Nectar and I joined White Star Software. And then, I mean, that was 2015, so almost 10 years ago. And then from there, White Star Software had this thing called ProTop, but they hadn't really evolved it to be software as a service. They were selling
Mm,
subscription stuff, but mostly it was still a consulting business. And then when Nectar and I joined, we got there and with them, and then that's how that kind of evolved from this consulting business with some tooling to say, no, 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 the tooling is the center of it. And today, 9 years later, 90% of our revenue is from software subscription and 10% of our revenue is from consulting. And I would say 9 years ago, it was the opposite.
okay. So I'm hearing one of the things we often see repeated in the entrepreneurial story, the idea of looking at the problems of our clients and then finding solutions. And you guys said, well, rather than copy paste the solution in the consulting, we're gonna find the solution in the software and allow the software to scale the business.
Yeah, what you're talking about now is PMF, product market fit. Product, like I would tell anybody today, if you say your entrepreneurial journey from nothing to something is, from 0 to 100, 0 to 75 is product market fit. Like, don't even start writing code until you have product market fit. I talk to people all the time. They're already developing, and I'm like, what are you developing? You don't even know what you don't. It's like, what was that baseball movie? If you build it, they will come, right? That's not
Field of
how it.
dreams. Yeah.
Yeah, you are destined to failure, or it's essentially a Lotto 649 ticket. You're going to make millions.
It's
Sure,
a
it's
crapshoot. Yeah.
so 0 to 75 is product market fit. Figure out, spend all your time interviewing your customers, your prospects, find out what the actual problem is, and here's the trick. What they tell you is the problem is not the problem.
It's never the problem.
There's always something deeper, right? That you have to go in there and find out what the problem is. And then number two, I'll tell you is the problem is emotional, right? If you're trying to fix a rational problem, I mean, yes, you fix a rational problem, but the real problem is emotional. You're selling to humans. You need a solution that's going to like get the attention of a human, right? So product market fit, you need to do product market fit.
So, Paul, you've been in the technical world for some time, and what have you found to be some of the right approaches for people who are more technically oriented that need to present slash communicate, do the human connection with with the C-suite type. So the A type hard driving executive, show me the money type of person. They tend to not be the technical person. They tend to be on the other side of the fence, if you know what I mean. So what tips would you have to help, let's say, the technically oriented companies to approach the more business-minded C-suite type?
Yeah, that's an excellent question because we all have to learn that the hard way, really, right? We're in this, and I'm a technical founder, right? I came from an engineering background, so I'm a very technical person. And I think you have to sit down before any meeting and you have to say, who am I talking to, right? If you have kids, right? When you talk to your kids, you don't talk to your kids the same way you talk to your wife, and you don't talk to your wife the same way you talk to your employees or to the
Hopefully, hopefully.
I can't help you if you are. Okay? There's nothing I can do about it. So you have to sit to yourself and say, who am I talking to? Right. So we had a call just the other day. We've been chasing after an account now for 3 years. All right. And we finally get through to someone very high level. And so me and my CRO, we always, before the call, we take 5 minutes. Okay, what are we doing? What's this call about? Right. Before we actually start talking to the prospect. Make sure we're both on the same page. And we said, look, he's not a technical guy. We didn't even tee up a demo of the software. We're like, this is not what this is about. What did we say? We said, this is about finding out why is he talking to us now after 3 years? We're like, something happened, right?
Yeah.
So our goal in this call is to find out what happened. So to your technical founders, make sure you go through that exercise before you get on the call. If he's talking to you about the sky is gray and he wants the sky is blue, don't start talking to him about how you're developing in JavaScript over AWS and you're using Copilot AI, right? You're not talking the same language. He is not giving you a second meeting, right? So make sure that's clear to you before you go into the meeting. And don't go off script. My God, technical guys always go off script. Like if you have to write it down in Notepad in large font on your screen next to the camera. I actually have notes right here next to the camera. I'm talking to you, George, because I did this before my call with you, right? I prepared. Have your notes, stay on script.
Excellent. Yeah, even have a wingman ready to poke you if you need to.
What was that? No.
Yeah, I get you. All right, cool. So what have been some of your, I don't know, mentors or people that you look up to in your, maybe in your profession or in the business world, that have kind of helped you to get through some of the tough times, if you will? Like, do you have any heroes or mentors that you've looked up to over the years?
So I'm going to answer that two ways, and I'm going to dig into this a little deeper maybe than you want me to, so you might have to edit, okay?
Okay.
Number one, surround yourself with the people that you want to emulate. If you are hanging around with your buddies who go drinking every night and their idea of fun is playing, I don't know, whatever video game until 4 o'clock in the morning, guess what you're going to become? You're going to become a hard drinking, video game playing, I don't want to say loser. You're not a loser, but those people are not going to take you where your goals want to go. So number one, very nicely, they could be your friends for 20 years, right? Doesn't matter. I'm not saying cut them out of your life. I'm just saying that they're no longer the people you should be with every day. You will emulate the people that you are with every day. Start surrounding yourself with people that are where you want to be. How did I do that? I joined numerous entrepreneurial groups. We meet, we have weekly Zoom calls, we meet 3 times a year in person. These are the people that I'm associating with. These are my mentors that are helping bring me up. And you know what? You've got people who are at 20, 30, 50 million in revenue, and they will give you their time for free, happily, because they want to teach, right?
Yeah.
Surround yourself with those people. And number two, sorry, again.
No, it's good. It's good. I love it.
Number two, you need to read anything you can get your hands on. Like if you're not reading, like I alternate, right? So I alternate a strategy book and then a mindset book and a strategy book and a mindset book. And right now, if you look, I have my list right here. If I have my list right here on the bottom, these are the next 5 books that I have on my list. to read. Literally, it's written right here. This is my desk. Every day I see this list. What am I reading next, right? So you better be reading every single day something that will help you get from point A to the whatever point B that you want to be at. So that's my two things. Surround yourself with people that you want to emulate in your business life or your personal life, right?
Yeah.
And read every day something that will help you get from point A to point B.
So for our action folks, clients and fans out there, I did not prep Paul to say those two things, even though you all know that those are the first two pillars in our training program. Just saying. But yes,
I
Paul.
swear to God, I have notes right here that I took for this call. So they're right here in front of me, I swear.
Yeah, so it's something that we teach as well, in the sense, your mindset is everything. And if your mindset is right, then of course everything else flows better. It's
Of course.
hard to make anything work if your mindset isn't right. And yes, if you're surrounding yourself with the types of people who don't have the same goals that you have, they don't have the same mission as you have, then it's going to be even more difficult to adopt the new behaviors that you need to attain in order to have a new life or have a better life or grow your business. What got you here won't get you there, right? That's the idea.
And it's not malicious, right? Your friends are not mean, they're not evil, they're not trying to drag you down. They're just the people they are, and you're the person you are. And if they're not going where you're going, you have to choose that you want to go where they're going or not. And if you do, that's great. Live your life and enjoy it. But then don't bitch and moan that your business is stalled because you're playing 11 hours a week of whatever Call of Duty or something,
Yeah.
you know?
I think the one thing that we want to make the audience understand as well is that success means different things to different people, right? Not everyone could be Elon Musk, not everyone could be Jeff Bezos. I mean, if you are happy with where your business is and it's sustainable, by all means, that's fabulous. I mean, no one has the right to say who's successful and who's not successful. I mean, that's a personal decision, right? That's a personal choice. So it's really all about defining what success means for you and doing what you need to do to maintain it and to keep it sustainable. That's
Yeah,
it.
and I'll take that one step further and say that you have to have balance in your success because if you're, especially if you're a young gun, you're like thinking, I want to make $100 million, right? But if you get yourself to $100 million, but you have no family to share that with because you work 90 hours a week and you sacrificed everything, who gives a rat's ass? Excuse my
Or you have
language.
no health,
You got nothing,
or if your
right?
health is poor, right?
So prioritize family, prioritize health. If you're a person of faith, prioritize your faith, right? And
Mm-hmm.
prioritize work. So I've grown my business quite a bit in the past few years. I work regular hours. I work maybe 50 hours a week, 40 to 50 hours a week. I don't do 70, 80 hours. I've got kids. I exercise. I play hockey with my boys. I go to church personally with my family. That's my choice. But I try to balance my life. My life is not centered around this business right now. Age allows me to have maybe a view that I wouldn't have had 30 years ago when I was 25 years old. But maybe that's the lesson to the 25-year-olds out there. Prioritize every aspect of your life, right? You need to improve all aspects of your life.
Another disclaimer, folks. Paul is describing our default calendar program. I didn't set him up for this, but yeah, we talk about blocking time in your week for all the different key things that are important in your life, so that you don't crowd one thing out versus to sacrifice for another. And the other principle is, and I'm sure you've seen this throughout your career, Paul, that tasks will grow to the amount of time you give them. If you constrain the amount of time that you give them, they will usually fit there, right?
Well, I mean, I do exactly what you just said, right? There are, if you look in my Google Calendar right now, there are hours blocked off for learning. There are hours blocked off for exercise. I have every day from 12 to 2 is blocked off. It's called focus time. So that's not just having lunch. Lunch is relatively quick, but it allows me to focus on something important, that I need to work on, and I don't let anybody else put meetings. And if you use Calendly or one of those tools that exposes your calendar to prospects or to other people, don't give them the entire calendar. Give them Tuesday afternoon and Thursday morning or whatever it is, so that those types of meetings are blocked off there. And then you can take wide swaths of time to work on whether it's strategy or whether you're technical and you need to develop a solution or whatever it is you need to do. Don't let people pollute your calendar, right? Task switching is the enemy of efficiency. The more you task switch, the less you'll actually get done. So try to focus on something. And
I
then
love it.
the other thing I'll say is, as you grow, this is something that we've been fortunate up as we've grown from 3 people to 4 people. Today we're 14 people, so we're by no means huge. But as you grow, you can delegate more of the stuff that's eating up your time, and that is amazing. Oh, and one more thing.
I love it. Keep coming, Paul. Keep coming.
If you're a SaaS founder and you're somewhere, you're hitting that, you're in that few 100,000 range, and you just, like, you've got a couple of employees, you're doing a few 100,000 a year, but you just can never stop. Your first and best hire is an executive assistant. People think that's your last hire. It's your first hire. Get an EA. It's 25 bucks an hour, cheaper if you go to the Philippines or whatever. That is the best 50 grand you're going to spend on an EA.
Yeah, I've heard that many times before. Great advice. Great advice. Yeah. So, Paul, what's next? What's happening with White Star, with ProTop? What's coming up? What's around the corner? What are you launching? What's happening?
Yeah, so right now we're going into big festival, big conference season, right? So there are these 2 major conferences called Pug Challenge in September and October. So that's really our huge focus. We're gold sponsors this year. So we've got the double booth and the whole thing and bringing all the team. So that's really a big thing. And it's not so much to meet new people. Like, we know the people, we've been in this business for 30 years, but if you're not in front of your prospect every day, right? This guy I told you we've been chasing after for 3 years, and we finally got the high level meeting. But like, we've been touching them, whether an email or an article, like once a month consistently for 3 years. So when the problem came, who was top of mind? ProTop was top of mind. If you're not top of mind, your competitor is top of mind. So we go to these conferences, we spend the money, we're there, the swag, the people, we speak at all these conferences, we do all of this work. We spend, I won't say the word a lot of money. I was going to use the worst word. We spend a lot of money on that, but we got to be in front of the people. We have to be top of mind when they're thinking about the problem. So that's
Yeah. Yeah,
really what.
I think you said it earlier, the being face to face, the investing in the people. I think a lot of startups, they have this idea that, oh, our digital marketing, we have to be on social media, we have to be posting, and that's okay. That's good, but it doesn't replace shaking hands with people, looking them in the eyes, investing the time, investing the money, all of that stuff.
The digital marketing stuff is, it's it's not even like it used to be. You were a leader if you were doing this. Now it's just entry level crap. Like, you have to do that, and you have to do the outbound. You have to do, these are all minimum things you need to do to grow your business. And if you're not doing these minimal things, but you're absolutely right. At the end of the day, I'll tell you another thing for the people who don't know this. Business is done after the conference. So if you're the kind of person who, like, at 4 o'clock you go back to your hotel, or you go out drinking
And
with your,
you're checking emails.
right, or a lot of you go out drinking, right, with your buddies, and you go out drinking, but go out drinking with prospects. Don't
Yeah.
go out drinking with the people you speak to every day. That's not going to grow your business, right? Find people who will help you get where you want to be, which is typically prospects and partners,
Right.
and take them out, or say, where are we going? Hey, we're going here across. Great, let's go. Last year at the conference, it's a really large deal that we're trying to get into a large customer, right? And we were just hanging out with them, right? And I swear to God, at midnight, we were in the conference hall by ourselves, two of us, three of us, and a couple of people from the team, not even decision makers, just people on the team there.
Mm-hmm.
And we were playing cornhole, which is that sandbag throwing game. And I had a bottle of whiskey in my room. Someone had brought me a gift. I brought the bottle of whiskey down. So like until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, we were just shooting the breeze, having fun, right? That wasn't a sales opportunity, right? These are not people who would buy from me, but I made a friend. I made friends there, right? So
It was a
go there.
relational investment.
Absolutely. So go there and make friends with people. Don't, God, for God's sake, don't sell at 2 o'clock in the morning, please.
Especially if there's whiskey involved.
Oh God, don't do it, please.
Well, Paul, listen, this has been fabulous. I really love the breadth and depth of information that you bring, and I love the fact that you didn't put such an emphasis on the technical business type of things that you could have. There was a lot of talk about relational. There's a lot of talk about mindset. There's a lot of talk about managing yourself, not just from a grind perspective, but from a personal perspective. Like look after your life as well as look after your business. And the tip about getting an assistant to help you stay on track and get the quote unquote little things done so that you can focus on the big things. I think that's all really, really practical information that any entrepreneur, especially someone getting started, can appreciate it.
I have one last thing for your
Shoot.
Have you seen the movie Ronin?
Yes. Well, which one? There's a few of them.
And there is a doubt, there is no doubt. If there's one thing you should do as an entrepreneur is trust your gut. If you hire someone and you're like, fire them fast, like fire them fast. If you get into a business deal and you're like, this is wrong, fire the customer. Like if you have a doubt, there is no doubt, because if you doubt yourself, your employees and your partners will doubt you. They'll smell it a mile away. When there is a doubt, there is no doubt. Act quickly.
Yeah, I think there was a book out a while ago, and I think the phrase that they coined over and over again was, if it's not a hell yeah, it's a no.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Absolutely a great way of putting it. And trust your gut. Trust your gut. You're in this journey, right? Trust your gut. Because there's no one you can trust outside, right? There's no one outside. Everyone's looking out for themselves. Trust your gut.
Cool. Well, at that, I'll end this, and thank you so much, Paul. This has been a great time, and I wish you all the best on the upcoming trade shows.
Thank you very much. This was fun. It was great.